This video is brought to you by Squarespace.
Sometimes we want a bit of guidance, and sometimes we'll turn to some very unique places to find it. That was me in December 2021. I was just feeling completely at a loss as to what to do with my life, and I really needed some reassurance. So my friend recommended I speak to her tarot card reader. She'd had a reading with him a few months before and found it really helpful. And I thought, what have I got to lose? So I went on his site and I had a look at his availability. Usually he's booked up months in advance, but there was a cancellation, so I booked. And I quickly realised that Jesse is not your typical card reader. Jesse King is a psychic medium based in Essex. He's pretty well known. He has a TikTok following of over 600,000 people, and he's been on TV. He is your classic paranormal TV expert. On TikTok, he makes videos about some of the services he offers, including fertility readings, tarot readings, and ghost hunts. Jesse describes himself on his site, The Paranormal Emporium, as the most honest and accurate psychic out there. However, he's had some mixed reviews. Just a quick search on TikTok will show you a host of one-star reviews and complaints about no-shows. Full disclosure, he also didn't show up to my first reading. However, it was very swiftly rebooked. A mixed bag. I was very curious to see what he had to say. So the reading happened over Zoom and it was 15 minutes long. I believe I paid £35. Jesse explained he was going to pull a bunch of cards, I believe it was about 16, and that they were going to chronologically tell me what was going to happen in 2022. Specifically my experience of 2022, it wasn't gonna be, you know, world politics. I gave him zero information about my life. And then when prompted, I gave him very minimal information. My friend recommended that I do this so I didn't leave feeling like I'd influenced the direction of the reading. So how accurate was he? So two things to know before I start. I have not listened to this back, but I have had a wild year. So here's the tea. So I recorded the whole call, which at the time was fine because it was just for personal use. However, now that I'm broadcasting some of the information, I don't think I can play you the call, just a bit of legal grey area. However, I'll just play you a snippet at the beginning to prove I did actually speak to him. So you can hear that that's Jesse's voice. I just want to prove I did speak to Jesse. So I'm going to play the whole recording now and react to the cards that were pulled, and we'll assess how accurate it was. Oh my God, I'm actually kind of stressed. There's one card I remember, which I'm uncomfortable to listen back to, as you will find out. This is the sound of him pulling the cards. Can I just say this man was incredibly nice? Like, a really sweet man. He just said, bloody good cards, that's for sure. Straight away he said, so have you just started a business? I hadn't just started a business, but I was working on ours, which still hasn't launched, but it is coming. I've got one that's fully operational and one that isn't yet. So we start with the Ace of Wands and the Sun, which represents fresh beginnings. And the Judgment card, he says, means it's kind of about business. Okay, this is really interesting. So he says that the Sun card shows that it's going to be a success, it's going to be really financially lucrative, my new business. My business did not launch in 2022. And my other business has performed the same as it has done for the past 4 years. So this bit so far is a little bit inaccurate, but he is about to give me some warnings, apparently, from the cards. The Seven of Swords, the Empress, the King of Swords, and the Knight of Cups. Those are the 4 cards he pulled after the Sun relating to my business. What they're telling me is these are warnings, do not take on too much. If you're a tarot kind of person, let me know if I've got that right. So he asked me if I have a business partner, I say yes, and then he pulls a face, and you can hear me laugh and go, great, good. Oh my God, so he then says, I can see you have anxiety as well, I can see you have low mood, don't push yourself, 2 businesses is a lot, take your time. I do struggle with anxiety, I don't really struggle with low moods. I've had less anxiety than I've had in so many years this year. I don't really know how to take this bit basically, because one business didn't launch and the other one did exactly the same. So he then says the King of Swords and the Knight of Cups says that I should be wary of my business partner and just be cautious. That is wild. That is very interesting. I'm still working with my business partner. And so far he seems nice. He said I can see deceit, arguments, and backhandedness coming your way from this business partner. There's only so much I can sugarcoat this. The business partner is probably the worst decision you've made so far. I need air. And I guess we have had a lot of interactions and trying to perfect the product and trying to make it good. I wouldn't say we've had deceit though. The thing about deceit is, how do you know if there's deceit, you know? Because you're being deceived. He speculates before May or June that the deceit and the betrayal and the arguments will come to light. That didn't happen. So he then says that he has the High Priestess, and that means that there is a female spirit around me. Okay, so apparently the High Priestess card is telling me to use the work with the business partner as a life lesson and move on and move forward. And I guess like the whole of ours has been a massive lesson. It has been a difficult process, much harder than I thought. And that's because I wanted to get the product right. That's because suppliers, COVID, post-COVID, like everything's just taken a really long time. And we're making something new. And I have always had a feeling, obviously I don't know if it's this, but I've had a feeling this whole year, this was all a learning experience. Be peaceful, you can't control everything in life. Just keep going forward and see it as a learning curve. Maybe that was the female spirit watching over me. He pulls the Eight of Wands. He says that that is about fresh starts, new opportunities, which this whole year has been for me. I mean, you can watch my How I Changed My Life in the Year video. I have experienced a hell of a lot of change this year, and it has felt like a fresh beginning. So then he pulls the Emperor card along with this Ace of Wands. So then he says, are you single? And I say no. He says, oh, how long have you been with your partner? I say 4.5 years. He goes, oh my God, well, that is not what's on my cards. This spooks the hell out of me, but I am still with my partner. It's now been over 5 years. He then goes, happy with him? He said there is nothing for my relationship on the cards, like no marriage, no having kids, which kind of makes sense because there was no marriage and no having kids. So then he pulls the Three of Pentacles. He then directs that back to the business and says this means that whatever brand you're creating is going to stand out amongst the crowd. But it did not launch. It did not launch. Why is this also business focused as well? I was trying to go really general about my life and so much of it's in business. So he says that around September, October time, one of my brands, he doesn't know which one, is going to have a huge hit and get recognized more than before. And it will be like a big break. So let me just check when I uploaded my most viewed video, because that's the only thing I can think of. So in November, I uploaded my most successful video of the year, which is also the one that I'm most happy with. And then he says, your luck sort of changes with one of your businesses in September, October. I actually did change a lot and had a real breakthrough in my work in October. So maybe it was that. So then he says, and it will enable you to take a step back on one of the businesses. Are you looking to start a family? So, oh my God, this is the bit that's haunted me for so long. So he then says, you're gonna take a step back from your business, focus on your family, but it's maybe not gonna be the most welcome surprise, which gave me the fear, obviously, in case I was going to have a child. In the family sense, in November, I bought a flat with my boyfriend and we moved in, and so I want to divert more of my attention to making the flat look good and like getting homey, you know? Maybe it's that, family. It is like relationship, but So he pulls the Lovers card, and that, he says, represents relationships. He says there's no real other interpretation of that. So he explains the Sun is the best card, the Tower is the worst card, and he's pulled the Lovers and the Tower. He pulls the Sun at the beginning and the Tower at the end, and I do feel like I've had the most up and down year of my life. Like, I've had incredible highs and incredible lows. Maybe that was what it was. Like, I mean, I got fucking sober. It's been a crazy year. So he then says, because I've pulled the Tower at the end of this card reading, it seems that there might be some grief or a breakup at the end of your year. Can you imagine how that felt to hear at the beginning of the year? I just go, okay. So he then signs off. He says, thank you, that's like 10 minutes. Like, we've done the reading. Just be careful of your business partner. Like, have a lovely year, but like, be careful of your business partner, and I'm sure your relationship will be fine. The way he said that freaked me out. It freaked me out. So the Tower card has haunted me this entire year. I am afraid. Nothing has gone wrong in the relationship. In fact, our relationship feels great. It's arguably better than it was this time last year. I am just deeply unnerved and counting down the days till December 31st to make sure that nothing terrible happens in my life. Maybe editing me will pop back in and just let you know, or maybe in the comments I'll pin a comment just to confirm nothing bad has happened. And if it does, this will be a painful example of irony. Listening back to this, I didn't realize just how vague and quick the whole thing was. I felt like I got loads of information at the time, but actually I feel like we literally just covered one small aspect of my life, which was this business that hasn't yet started officially, and then my relationship right at the end. And that just seems like such a tiny sliver of my life, and maybe that's because that was just 10 minutes. I don't know, it's very strange, and considering it was a 24 card reading, I feel like I only heard about 16 of the cards maximum, and because it was on Zoom, I didn't see the cards being pulled. Like, I saw him shuffling the cards, but I didn't see them laid out. But it means that I didn't see like the full spectrum of what the cards said. I just heard his interpretation of the most important parts of the table. And then the Tower card. But one of my friends, Rosianna, really helped me reframe what the Tower could mean. She described it as a symbol of rebirth and new beginnings, and how it can mean a lot of different things. It isn't always the most negative. It does mean the breaking apart of something that already existed, but also the rebuilding. And that was really reassuring and really nice. And I think maybe the overall read that I could have got from it is that I had a really up and down year. Pulling the Sun and pulling the Tower, the best card and the worst card, is the epitome of my year. But everything else, a little bit weird, not that accurate. So I don't know. Maybe the interpretation was wrong, maybe it was rushed, maybe I've interpreted his interpretation wrong. What do you think about psychics and the paranormal? Have you ever paid to have a reading? Let me know in the comments. I don't know if I'd get a reading again. Maybe I'll do one at the beginning of this year and just see how it pans out. I'd probably go somewhere different just to get a different flavour of reading and to get one that's maybe a bit longer as well. And please don't send Jesse any hate. I did not make this video to try and expose him or accuse him of anything. That is not the intention of the video at all. I just thought it'd be something fun to share with you, to reflect on my year in a different way. Give the video a like if you've enjoyed it, and subscribe if you're new around here. I make videos every week. And thank you to Squarespace for making this video possible. Squarespace is the all-in-one platform for building your brand and growing your business online. You can use it to stand out with a beautiful website, engage with your audience, and sell almost anything, like your products, the content you create, even your time. I built my site on Squarespace and I love it. It is so intuitive and it was really easy. I have my About Me page where you can find all my links to my socials, you can see what I'm about. I have my blog where I try and write up all the useful things going on in my life. For example, I just posted a roundup of my favorite non-alcoholic drinks for Christmas and New Year's, so if you want to head and see that, I will link it. And then I also sell my presets, which help you create your perfect aesthetic. They are super easy to use. And I try to make them really affordable as well, so that no one is priced out of having a beautiful feed. You can use the code LucyMoon at checkout to get 10% off your first website or domain, or you can go to squarespace.com/LucyMoon. I love that it's my name. So yeah, head over to squarespace.com/LucyMoon and get that 10% off. Get your site built ready for January. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video.